people running around Washington saying, oh, we tried that, we didn't get anywhere, so now we have to cut Social Security, we have to cut Medicare. That's not acceptable.
You've just put out a report on Social Security. You look at the impact of the 3 common proposals for cutting Social Security and the impact they'll have on retirees. Tell us.
Yeah, well, what we looked at, three things are often suggested. One, raising the retirement age, and this is an accelerated increase because, as I said, it's already scheduled to go up to 67 for workers who hit age 62 after 2022. So it is already going up, but they propose to accelerate that and push it up to 70. Secondly, a change in the benefit formula so that workers will be getting less who retire, say, 3, 5, 10 years out than they otherwise would have. And the third one is a change in the annual cost of living adjustment. Currently, it's tied to the Consumer Price Index. There are proposals actively being debated that would reduce that by about 3 or 4 tenths of a percentage point a year. Not too long ago, they were talking about doing it by 1% a year. Now, all of these would lead to substantial cuts in benefits, and the point we make in this report is not just that they cut benefits, but it's a very large cut in retirement income. The big issue here is that most middle-class workers have taken a very big hit to their retirement income as a result of the collapse of the housing bubble. For most middle-income workers, most of their wealth was the equity in their home, which in many cases got wiped out with the plunge in house prices. In addition, they lost money in their 401ks as well, if they had any. And remarkably, when people talk about cutting Social Security down here, almost no one seems to have noticed that we had this huge collapse of the housing bubble that's destroyed much of the wealth of these near retirees who they want to cut benefits for. So if you want to talk about cutting benefits, 30, 40 years out, and we could have that discussion, I still wouldn't be terribly anxious to do it. But we could see these people. We know that someone who's 52, 53, and basically has almost nothing, the typical wealth of someone in there between 45 and 54 is about $80,000, counting the equity in their home. That's a middle-income household. They're not going to have much for retirement. We know that. They don't have many more years in the workforce. They're not going to be able to have huge savings. So when you talk about cutting their Social Security, in many cases, that's almost one-to-one a cut in their income. If you cut their Social Security 5%, you're cutting their income 5%. That's a very big hit.
Dean Baker, put all of this in the context of the passage last week of what is called the Landmark Financial Regulation Bill.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'd say is the regulation bill, again, it had some good aspects, but I think long and short, the banking industry, the financial industry got off incredibly cheap because here we're suffering incredibly. I mean, it's, again, I hang out with people in Washington who are all employed, but, you look around the country, we have an unemployment rate that's close to 10%, and what's more, it's expected to stay there long into the future. Those people didn't do anything wrong. You have people who lost their jobs in the construction industry and the manufacturing industry, retail trades, every sector of the economy. They can't find other jobs. It's not that they're lazy, they're unwilling to work, or they don't have the skills. It's we messed up. We meaning the people who run economic policy. They're sitting there unemployed, and the people who made out like bandits from it are those on Wall Street. And what they get with the financial reform is, they can't do a little of this, they can't do a little of that. But basically, their profits, their bonuses are going to be largely unaffected. They're still going to be incredibly wealthy. I suspect most of them are laughing pretty hard right now.
Speaking of Wall Street, do you